You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons & Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 197, posted July 2019. Pitfall situation.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. I'm your Dungeon Master, Tony Sindelar. I've attempted to end this podcast and end it all by crushing all of the players underneath rocks, and yet, for some reason, we're still playing. I don't know, I guess this episode might just be me talking about rocks and how great I feel about rocks. Rocks are great, everybody.
I concur.
Well, we record these very far apart, people, so that I can make the same jokes again. Thanks for listening to them in close proximity. Welcome to the podcast, Jason Snell. Jason Snell, who are you playing?
Peter Dragonforge, who is a paladin and human and really loves Bahamut.
Also, welcome to the podcast, Monty Ashley.
I am playing Melik, a tiefling wizard.
And the last member of the Dragonforge and Associates team joining us today, welcome to the podcast, Sarah Barbour.
Thank you. I am playing Rizwin, a dwarven cleric.
So, as you have maybe guessed, since I've only introduced half of the Dragonforge and Associates team, the fate of the other half of Dragonforge and Associates is unknown.
Dun, dun, dun. No!
Peter Dragonforge, you find yourself under rocks, like a lot of rocks. You are fighting, or not fighting, you are witnessing a fight between some lizard folk and Ender the Rogue's gang of rapscallions, and unfortunately, the things got out of hand and the whole chamber kind of collapsed in. You have fallen probably somewhere deep below the level of Undermountain that you were in. There's a lot of rocks on you. Probably mixed into these rocks are some rogues and lizard folk, or possibly ex-rogues and ex-lizard folk. And you've taken quite a beating. We've already negotiated hit points. But you are alive, just, under rocks.
Have we negotiated hit points? I know I lost some healing surges. I don't think I know how many hit points I lost by being hit by rocks.
We did not negotiate hit points.
Well, we immediately translated damage done to you by rock slide into lost healing surges.
Okay.
That's just an efficiency thing.
Thank you.
Of like, we're not talking about how much damage you've taken. We're talking about how many hit surges you just lost. It's like an order of magnitude more than damage. It's convenient.
Ouch.
So. Yeah.
So I'm going to try to push these rocks off of me and get a look around and see where the heck I am.
All right. Give me an athletics check to try and free yourself from some rocks.
Oh, well, that's not going to go well. Because Peter of Dragonforge is bad at athletics.
Why is that on your business cards?
Anyway, let's see what I roll. That's a 4. Dice scam.
Oh, you are straining, and I'm gonna say that you've got like kind of like you're still from the waist down covered in rocks, but you're looking around, and your eyes are kind of focusing, and you appear to be in kind of a dimly lit. There's maybe some phosphorescent fungi, not in a dungeon, but more of a cavern. And there's just a huge pile of rocks that was probably what used to be the chamber that you were in last you remembered around you. It sounds like some of the rocks, or maybe some of the things under the rocks, are groaning. So there is, though you don't see any of your friends.
It's the famous groaning rocks of Undermountain.
You do hear some people who sound sad.
Oh. The sad
I, too, am going to rise out of rocks.
people of Undermountain.
Rizwin, would you like to roll an athletics check to try and get out of rocks?
How's it 23?
Rizwin, you're great. You're out of the rocks. You know, as a dwarf, rocks are your friends.
Yeah, this is like afternoon nap.
Yeah, you just kind of scurry out. You see Peter, who looks like he's still very much trapped under some rocks. There's a lot of rocks around you.
Do I see anything extra because of my low light vision?
Yeah, you totally do. Hold on. Let me remind myself how to use Roll20 as a monthly activity I do. Is do. So it's a kind of a shadowy cave lit only by some phosphorescent fungi. it basically the north wall of the cave is just like a huge rock slide. So it would take some serious, probably even for a skilled team of dwarves, serious amount of time to excavate the passage to the north. But it's a cave, and it seems like there's probably a cave tunnel leading off to the east. You see Peter. You also hear the sounds of some sad people trapped under rocks.
Well, rocks. I'm going to immediately leap into action and try to get people out from under the rocks so they don't get crushed.
All right. Do you want to
As
give me
a
another
healer?
athletics check?
Sure. 12. That one's less
All
good.
right. That's okay. You'll do it. You are excavating rock, and you see kind of a scaly arm underneath. You think it might be your associate Acrid.
Yeah. Keep digging.
Keep digging. So you unearth this person, and it is not your friend, the Dragonborn warlord Acrid. It appears to be another owner and operator of Scales. It appears to be a lizard folk, and to play that horrible monster, please welcome to the podcast, Jane Red.
Hello.
Yay!
Jane, who are you playing today?
I am playing Croca, the lizard folk.
Croca, you have been buried alive, so you've taken some damage,
Yep.
but a dwarf has just pulled you out of a giant pile of rocks.
You're not Acrid.
Wow.
I jump to my feet and say, "Who are you?"
I'm Rizwin. Who are you?
I'm Croca. What?
Okay.
What happened?
We appear to have collapsed in a pile of rock. Also, I'd like to check and see if I know enough about lizard folk anatomy to see if she's okay.
Mm-hmm.
1d20 plus 11. 22. Does she look okay?
Croca has also been, buried alive, and I've basically knocked off a bunch of healing surges from her. We could say that, if you mechanically fine, but being buried alive is still rough. Probably, some healing would be, though maybe not mechanically necessary, the polite thing to do as a healer and
Well,
as a victim of a rock slide.
Once we unbury everybody, I think we can manage that. Well, we've been buried in rockslide. Let's get everybody else out.
Okay.
Peter, you're there too. You're just half buried.
Yeah, can I try to unbury myself?
I'm
Or
sure
should I
it'll
just
help
say, "Hi, I'm Peter. We wandered into this cavern or into this room, and everybody was fighting lizard people and knee breakers who were jerks, and then boom, rocks fell, and we were here. Hi."
Now,
Yeah,
Croca, it occurs to you, you might be uncertain about the nature of these creatures. Your tribe has been at war with some rogues that have been invading your territory, and though it's, I don't know if these people look particularly roguish, they do look like non-lizard folk. And so far, every non-lizard folk you've encountered, at least in the last couple of days, has been someone trying to murder you. Jason, you want to give me an athletics check to try and get yourself out of those rocks?
Yes, I would like nothing more to fail at an athletics check again. 15.
All right, you're out.
Yeah, that's the most athletic Peter Dragonforge has felt in a very long time.
All right, so
all right.
Croca, Rizwin, and Peter, you are all free of the rocks. It does seem like there's at least a couple more people buried in the rocks near you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
let's.
keep searching for people.
Yeah, that's right.
Should I roll more athletics to keep pulling off rocks?
Why don't you give me a perception check? Because there's plenty of rocks you could pull, but you probably want to try and find people.
Very true.
Because theoretically, you could, if you're moving rocks from one rock pile to another, you could be additionally burying somebody while not unburying anyone.
Critical fail.
Rizwin, you know
With
what?
that
You're
roll,
really
you find
you're
a
really great
Lannister.
at rocks. What you're not really great at is finding people in rocks.
People. Yeah.
Yeah.
Search and rescue is not my strong point.
You're just rescue, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
just,
you
just
have a
rescue.
strength.
Somebody else can
Yeah.
search.
Yeah.
Okay, where's Bellic? Where's Acrid? Where's everybody?
So, Croca is holding her staff really closely as she watches you. She definitely doesn't know you people, doesn't trust you. But I do have the ability to use an air spirit to move objects that are less than 20 pounds. So I guess maybe I just try lifting and moving 20-pound chunks at a time, trying to sift through and see if I can find more lizard folk faster than they can find more interlopers.
Okay. So Croca, I think the first thing that you uncover is your pet. As Peter and Rizwin, you're uncovering rocks. Croca is using some druidic magic to airlift some rocks out of the way, and suddenly Croca uncovers what appears to be. Have we decided is this a crocodile or an alligator? How do you feel?
It's an alligator. You can tell because of the snout.
Yep. So there's an alligator that's suddenly in the pile of rocks with all of you. I don't know. Maybe it kind of makes like a kind of low alligator purr.
Yep. He's happy that he's not buried under rocks anymore.
He crocs.
Yep. And Croca gives him a little pat on the head and says, "Good. I am glad that I found you."
All right. Can I keep searching?
Yeah.
As well. Another perception check. 13.
That's pretty good. You know what? You feel like you were standing somewhere near Melik when all this happened, and you get a sense that he is might be buried right near you. If you want to start, you or Rizwin wants to start excavating there.
Sure. I assume that Melik is knocked out since he hasn't actually rolled to get himself out yet.
Apparently.
All right. I'm going to dig over there.
I'm going to help out too.
Maybe he's happy. Give me some athletics checks, people.
16.
Maybe he's found a round rock that he thinks is an orb. 8.
All right. Well, Rizwin's doing most of the work, but
Typical.
Monty, Melik has been unearthed from this landslide. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I was kind of hunched around my orb, protecting it from the rocks with my weak tiefling body.
So Croca, there are now 3, I guess you could call them interlopers present here. Peter is a human paladin of Bahamut. Rizwin is a dwarven cleric, and Melik is a tiefling warlock?
Wizard.
I always get that wrong.
It just feels better. He should be a warlock. Tieflings should be warlocks. It's spooky.
I feel like you've got a lot of the warlock aesthetic going, right?
Yeah.
So, like the difference between a warlock and a wizard is like a warlock shops at Hot Topic and the wizard's just in the library.
He styles himself as a warlock, but is actually a wizard.
I am going to get so many tweets from warlocks when this airs.
And Hot Topic.
Yeah. So, Croca, you think there's at least one more person buried nearby where you pulled yourself out?
I'm going to click my tongue a couple of times, and then Bash sort of slithers over and starts moving rubble and rock out of the way.
Peter, who is this?
That is a
Your guess is as good as mine. It's a lizard person and her pet?
Her name is Croca.
Yes, I am Croca. Leave
And
me alone.
You unearth. There appears to be another lizard person here. You unearth somebody from your tribe who will be joining us on this podcast to play that second lizard folk. It's Brian Hamilton. Brian Hamilton, welcome to Total Party Kill.
Now, is it
Thank you
lizard
so
folk
much.
or dragonborn?
These are lizard folk.
Okay.
So,
Very
Brian
happy
Hamilton
to be here.
And Brian Hamilton, for our devout Total Party Kill listeners, Brian Hamilton will actually be playing a character introduced in Total Party Kill episode 84, which was like 3 years ago. And likely most of the players have forgotten. But Brian, who will you be playing today?
I am Shtek. I won't be talking about that voice the whole time. Yes, I'm reprising my role from 3 literal years ago as Shtek, the lizard folk in the bottom of Under Mountain.
And Peter says, Shtek, is that you?
So Shtek has a dagger in his hand. Who are you? You're the people that have destroyed... Is that Peter Dragonforge?
It's
You
us!
know these people?
Remember with
see
the
ya.
vampire Diane and the spider webs and the electricity
It
and
was so
stuff?
creepy. Oh, this is so much less creepy.
Where did you meet these weird, smooth people?
Convey. I tell the story of how we met.
Yes. If you listen
Kroka,
back
like,
to a past
squints
episode
the
of the
entire
podcast,
time.
you
Asterisk.
Point of
See
order,
issue
as a
84.
tiefling, I'm not completely smooth.
She's speaking in general.
Yes.
it's racism is not always accurate. It's just racism.
Yes.
Okay.
Kroka,
Jade,
you're here too? Hello.
Yes.
Good to see you. Oh, hey, Bash. How you doing, alligator boy?
He
Wait.
like rolls over so you can rub his tummy.
Oh, rub the
I didn't know they could do that.
Wow.
It's really impressive. We train them to do it.
Jane, just to fill you in, since for everyone who has not listened to that episode recently from 3 years ago, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. Shostak was basically kidnapped by a vampire and put in a jail cell, and Dragonforge and Associates let him go.
Yes.
That's the heart of
Yep.
it.
That's
Yep,
the heart
Pretty
of it.
much. There was also
Yeah.
there was also like a grumpy dwarf there, but we don't talk
Mhm.
about him.
He could be around the next corner.
Oh.
But yes, Vampire Diane was, in addition to being a vampire, was an aspiring mad scientist and was doing all kinds of weirdo experiments on whoever he could kidnap.
Draining life
from-
force using
from
like
Undermountain.
golden
Yeah.
wires,
Yeah.
and it was creepy, and we killed him.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
and Kroka looks like she now has more questions than answers, but doesn't say anything else.
Well, that makes sense. If you have more answers than questions, you just know things and you don't know what they mean.
So Peter says to Kroka, "See, we've met. We rescued him. We're not these people that you've been fighting. We actually came down here to whatever it is. What do we come to? It's find these rogues who
We're
are bad
still
and,
working for
and they had
Rutherford
stuff,
Umbrusk.
and we're still trying to find Rutherford Umbrusk, who we mentioned to you the last time, and you said you had no idea who that was. So
And
here
I
we
still
are.
don't.
Here we are.
Shostak, you totally still have no idea who that is. So
Yay.
also, you're like, you guys have been looking for him for 3 years / 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Are you any good at your jobs? So
Yeah, getting
Um,
hit in the head by rocks has not made us remember him.
no. So, Peter, just to remind you of your motivation, you want to find and question Enda the rogue.
Enda,
as
that's
as a former member of Rutherford's ill-fated party, it is believed that she has some information that will lead to his whereabouts and or remains. So,
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, all of you are in a cave. You've turned over a lot of rocks. There's still, like, the northern wall of the cave is completely collapsed with rocks, and it's possible that there might be more survivors beyond, but that would take a significant amount of excavation, which seems beyond your immediate abilities in terms of tools and number of survivors. So the only...
you're saying we shouldn't use magical abilities to deal with this?
No.
Okay. It's beyond my capabilities.
Yes, and
Yeah.
no.
Okay, fair. So we should get the lay of the land here. Wait, let's look at this cave and see if there's a way out, because I assume we all want to, none of us wanted to be down in these caves. We were up in the dungeon, and now we're down here.
There's no exit from this cave. This adventure was really inspired by Sartre. We're just gonna really get to know each other.
I remember seeing a thing over that way.
Yeah. Risman saw a door to a tunnel to the east. So
How long were we out?
So it's not a bottle episode.
no. This is high budget. Malik, I don't know if you have any way of knowing.
Well, do I feel like I could use my daily power again?
Let's say yes.
Well, we were out for a while.
Yeah. It was a very restful rock slide, let's say.
And yet my healing surges are still gone. Most
Afternoon,
Yeah,
Oh.
just a little cat nap.
afternoon
So-
dwarven nap.
Are we able to see any exits from this room?
It does seem like the cave looks like it has a tunnel leading to the east.
Let's get out of here.
Shouldn't we still look for everybody else?
Why?
We're
Because-
here. We're all that matters.
Well, but
You two might not have other friends here, but we do, and we are concerned about them.
yeah.
I have plenty of other friends and they will be fine.
Peter, I do have this teleportation ring that would allow one person to teleport anywhere in Undermountain that they've seen. You can do it once per day. I don't think we should do it yet, but we should keep it in mind.
Okay.
Usually you can't tell. That's a one-way ticket, right?
Yes, one-way ticket for one person.
For one day. You could come back in a day
Yeah.
Yeah.
with like sandwiches.
True.
Which you'll need because those other people will just have been sitting there for a day.
For a day. We will have not eaten for a day. Yeah, I'm also
Sewer
concerned.
Dash has been so slow since the collapse. I hate it.
I'm concerned that if you teleport to where we were before, which you saw, you'll just be up there and then you'll fall back down to here. So
Yeah.
Well, I could teleport all the way to the exit or at the
You
bottom
could.
of the big pit. Like, it's a really good ring.
but the rest of us would still be here. So let's investigate more and see if we can find. We can't. Obviously, this pile of rocks is too big for us. We've established, right, Tony, that we don't see anybody on our side of this giant rock slide who's still alive. Or are there dead bodies in here too? Or did we find a dead bee breaker or something?
There do not appear to be any dead bodies.
All
It seems like perhaps that your best bet is to try and circumnavigate around this collapsed passageway and find another way. Seems like probably you want to find another way north.
Right. We want to. Okay. So we want to find our friends and see if they're okay, and then get to the surface. So yeah, I guess we should explore because we can't dig through this giant mountain of rubble on here. Hopefully they are okay, and we can get to them.
And
Mel,
these
could you-
caverns may be unstable.
Yes. Yeah. With that, there's a dramatic rumble as the ceiling drops a bunch of pebbles on you. Mel, can you remind me of the exact nature of the magic ring you have?
The magic ring I have is called a horned ring, and it says something very interesting. When you use a teleportation power, as long as the destination space is within range and you have seen the space before, you need no line of sight to that space. However, if you attempt to teleport to an occupied space, the teleportation attempt fails and the power is expended. And it has a utility power. You teleport to any location in Undermountain you have seen before.
Okay.
And that's
so you do not need to be in Undermountain in order to do that. Was the thing I. All right.
It's really
because
good.
it is somewhat questionable right now if you are in Undermountain or not, because you're in like a cave system below the dungeon designed by the wizard.
Well, I don't know what the city zoning people say about Undermountain. I feel like I'm under a mountain.
we're gonna have to bring
Technically.
this ring up to to the council, to the committee for zoning, and really get this ironed out. There's a lot of zoning laws baked into magic that people never talk about.
It does not teleport me to this area. It is Farmer Jones. Sorry.
Yeah. So all right. So do you want to travel to the east through the only exit to this cave that I've mentioned 4 times?
Let's do that.
Okay. So it seems like Dragonforge and Associates is heading east. Shastek and Kroka, also, I guess Bash. I don't know if Bash gets a vote. Are you following them for now?
I think
I'd like
that
to follow them. What do you say?
Yeah, I think maybe we let them go first. Plumb the depths a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a check to see how well? Because we live down here. Can I do a check to see if I know where we are?
Yeah. Give me a quick dungeoneering check.
Dungeoneering. That's an 8.
This area seems totally unrecognizable to you.
I have no idea where we are, Kroka.
As we're walking toward the east,
Despite living in Undermountain all your life, it seems like probably you've never been in the tunnels underneath the room where you are fighting.
I
the ceiling
asked
collapsed on.
Shastek and Kroka, but basically, were you in where we were last? Was there were lizard people fighting with a bunch of rogues? Were you in that room, or was this cave in larger than that? Is this a bigger part of Undermountain that's just collapsed? Where were you before the lights went out?
I remember back to the thing, and I know that Tony.
So Kroka and Shastek, you were there for the fight.
Okay.
I don't know how engaged you were on the fight. You may have been hanging out on the edges, but certainly you were either in that big chamber or immediately adjacent to
and
it.
we just walked
I'm
into
going to
the
say
room.
Shtek was fighting because I have all of my equipment already.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And maybe in the flurry of battle, you did not recognize Shastek, and Shastek didn't see you because maybe Shastek was very focused on the rogues. But yes, you were up there.
Okay.
When the ceiling came
let's
down.
mosey to the east then.
All right, you head to the east. You hear the sound of running water. There appears to be kind of a little underwater stream with a waterfall that kind of cuts across the passage. And it looks like on the other side of the stream, there's actually, it looks like it kind of transitions from tunnel into dungeon. And there's a door built into the cavern wall.
Can I take a look over the ledge down the waterfall?
Yep.
What does Shtek see?
The water seems to go down basically, presumably it's not a bottomless pit, but it sure looks bottomless from here. The water is falling quite a distance into a dark crevasse.
I turn around to the rest of the group and say, it's a waterfall.
And I say to Shostek, everybody and everybody else, everybody be careful. I find the transition points between cave and dungeon the most dangerous. I read it in a book.
Okay.
How deep is the water?
Do you want to test it somehow?
Deep enough for Alestrin
Can
to
I-
drown in it? I just saying. Anyway.
Can I see it? Can I see the bottom of it?
Yeah, it looks like it's not that deep. It's really kind of it's a stream, not a river, though it is moving pretty quickly.
Okay. Deep, 2 feet deep, a foot deep.
Let's say it's 2 feet deep.
Over my head. Okay.
Not over your head, 2 feet. I don't think that's over your head.
I don't think so. I think I'm 3 feet. No, I'm 3'9". Yeah. So that's
Okay.
up to my chest.
Yep. You want to just ford the river?
I'm gonna let somebody taller do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I quote now from the book of Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't. This never goes great for me.
If you move at least 2 squares before making a jump, you can divide your jump check by 5, and that's the number of squares you can jump.
Okay.
If you want to jump over this.
Oh, and I can also move 1 less when forced to move.
And it's based on your
apparently. So I'm a
athletics
dwarf.
check. So basically, if you had no athletics bonus, what would we need, Tony? We would need a 15.
Yeah.
Is this because it's like I don't know, it looks like it's 2 squares wide, but it's across 3 squares. So is it 2?
Yeah.
We need 3?
Yeah, you need 3.
Ugh.
Can I inspect the water to see if it looks like it's mundane water just moving quickly?
Yep, go for it. You're going to give me some kind of arcana or nature check, maybe?
Nature check. That's a 21.
Yep, it seems like mundane water moving quickly.
Cool.
Do you think that I could send Bash halfway through the water so we can Frogger it?
Oh my gosh, are you using Bash as a log? I've seen, as a dungeon master, I turn logs into alligators. As a player, you've turned an alligator into a log.
But in Frogger, if you land on the alligator, you die.
Right. This is really a pitfall situation. We just have to jump when its mouth isn't open.
Well, that's because Frogger and the crocodile were not allies.
I see.
In this
So
case, we have
Frogger is really
villain.
anti-crocodile propaganda, is what you're saying.
Correct, yes.
Who programmed Frogger? Look at it. It's,
Cool.
the frogs?
Yeah.
Follow the money, people.
Yes.
It's the frog lobby.
Man, season 12 of The Wire was wild.
Tony, does it look like I could walk across the water and ford it without falling over? Should
It
nature
looks.
check or
I think it
something?
seems uncertain. I think you could confidently look at this and be like, that's moving pretty quickly. I'm not sure if I would get knocked over trying to get across this or not.
Okay.
So
does anybody
Bash
have
is an aquatic creature, so Bash seems potentially well suited to this situation. But you were going to ask a question, Rizwan?
Does anybody have rope? And
All of your rope was lost in the.
Oh no, my adventuring kit.
Are you
No,
sure?
you all still have rope.
All right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got rope. So, hey, Kroka, do you mind if I give some of this one end of the rope to Bash and then they can swim across and maybe then we can use the rope to...
I thought we were going to Frogger it.
I think that might work for the little people, but, there's Dragonborn. I don't think Dragonborns can necessarily comfortably walk across alligators. I'm no scientist.
Where's their
but,
Dragonborn? Where?
You guys are lizard folk, I thought.
Oh, are you sorry, I thought that someone said that they also had lizard-like skin.
Oh, no.
Tiefling.
He's our tiefling.
I'm
It's
a
not quite
tiefling.
that.
Gotcha.
Dragon folk is buried on the other side of the wall somewhere.
I
There is
see.
a
Gotcha.
Dragonborn in the
But-
group. They are not of the
Gotcha.
recovered people.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I have demonic ancestry,
All right.
which
Well,
gives my skin. This,
Okay, we
sorry.
can give rope to Bash. Bash will know what to do.
Okay, great.
Great.
Bash eats the first rope you give him.
God damn it, Bash.
See,
Oh,
I
no,
told
that's
you.
bad for him. You got to pull it back out. You can't let him swallow the
Oh,
rope.
no.
Gotta take him to the vet.
Someone debug Bash.
Oh.
Aw.
So yeah, can we give Bash some rope
Yeah.
and have Bash swim across?
Tie a little knot around Bash's tail, and
This seems like a complicated task for an alligator. Croca, can you give me a nature check to see how you're a success at conveying this elaborate multi-part plan to an alligator?
That's a crit.
All right, I'll allow these shenanigans to continue. You have the ability to move Bash around on the map, right?
Yes, I do.
All right.
So
what's Bash trying to do? Is we've abandoned log plan, and the plan is just to carry a rope across?
Yes. So I give the rope to Bash in his powerful jaws.
He does have vice-like jaws.
He does, yeah. He's gonna swim across.
Do you have the info to do an athletics check for Bash? I know it's not a full character.
I definitely do. And
like a strength check.
Yeah, his strength is 17, so he's pretty beefy. He's
Stronger
beefy
than
boy.
me.
Oh, he's an alligator.
So that's 10.
All right. Bash manages to get across the river. Maybe gets pushed downstream a little bit. But Bash scampers up onto the sides of the bank on the other side, still trailing the rope. Too bad none of you specified that you were holding on to the other end of the rope. So now your rope is on the other side of the. No, Croco, were you holding on to the rope?
I was holding on to the rope. Yes.
Okay.
So now we're like.
So you now have a rope leading across the river.
Yeah. And
Great.
so Bash is holding it, I'm holding it, and we do set it up far from the waterfall port. As close as we can get to not the plunging to our death spit.
Yeah, so at the upstream part
Is there a place we can like tie it up?
This cavern is significantly not up to OSHA standards. There's no guardrails. And there, you know what? I'll say you find there's a stalactite on your side of the cavern. There's nothing on Bash's side of the cavern. How about that?
Okay.
I realize like there's running water here. There's probably all kinds of rock formations.
Right.
Yeah. I vote for tying it up to the stalactite, and I try to, or stalagmite, I guess, because it's stalagmite, not stalactite. I give it a
This is a world of fantasy. Thank you.
It's a stalag floor, please.
It is a stalactite, but somehow it's coming from the floor anyway. It's very disturbing.
I've already forgotten what I've said, but I know it was wrong.
Never know which is which. Does not matter.
I'm gonna pull on it a little bit to see if it takes my weight.
Yeah, it seems good.
Great. I'm gonna just go for it then. I tell everybody I'm gonna go across. Using the rope.
All right. I'm going to say everybody makes a strength check. I have significantly lowered what you would need to do to get across the river because you have a rope to hold on to as opposed to just trying to like brute force it.
11.
All right, you get across.
Great.
Shtek got a 10.
You are across.
Yay!
I have gotten whatever this number is. I got a 9.
Is that with your modifier?
Yes.
Okay. Melik,
I'm not strong. I'm a wizard.
is what you yell as you fail to hold onto the rope and are carried downstream.
Now I'm hysterical and I'm wet.
Yes. Melik is always hysterical, but this time he's the other kind of hysterical. Melik is being carried downstream by a rushing river that's not that deep.
I lunged for him.
All right. Give me a quick athletics check.
I know I should have just burned that teleportation on getting across this stream.
Rizwin, you are now also in the river holding on to Melik.
But at least I'm like really slow to go down because I'm being forced to move.
And in fact,
I'm accidentally dunking you as I try to stay out of the
people.
water
This is
myself.
a common life-saving thing. Is that a lot of people unfortunately drown trying to save other people's lives. Hello, we're transitioning into the educational component of Total Party Kill. When you're trying to save somebody's life when they're drowning in an underground river, it's important. Don't let that person grab onto you. Use something like a stick or even a piece of clothing, but just something because. A rope
won't
would be
believe it until
great.
Mythbusters
A rope
proves
is
it.
almost designed for this situation. An alligator, really anything that they can grab onto you so they don't grab onto you and panic and pull you both under. Thankfully, in this case, Rizwin is a dwarf and is able to halt some forced movement. So, Rizwin, your dwarven roots are the only thing keeping both of you alive as this river tries to push you toward a bottomless pit.
All
I
right,
have a physics question real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
If you teleport out of the river and leave
No.
Rizwin there.
I'm not. I have a question.
Yes.
Do dwarves float like a cork, or are they so dense that Rizwin
I'm-
just kind of sinks to
I'm
the
wearing
bottom?
I'm wearing chainmail,
Okay.
and I'm 3'9", so thank you very much. I can put my feet down.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
2 foot water.
They don't float. Peter throws them a rope from the
Another
shore.
rope? Are you guys keeping track of all your rope?
I've got a rope, and this is my rope. There are
All
other
right.
kinds of rope, but this one is mine.
The other
Okay.
kinds are also all hempen.
Shostak and Croker are just watching the situation, not very impressed by all of you.
Why
You didn't
did you
do this in
not-
gym class when you were a kid? Come on.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
did you not hold the rope?
Yes.
Is this the plan?
Peter, let me ask you a question. Who are you throwing the rope to? You got 2 people there.
Well, I think I can see Melik because he's taller, so I'm going to throw it at Melik.
I got
all
these
right.
long, spindly, useless arms.
Peter, what do you think? Is throwing a rope athletics or acrobatics?
I think it's athletics.
All right, throw that rope.
That's a 5.
Can I reach for the rope too?
Please.
and I would
please.
say that catching it is definitely a history roll.
Oh, God.
I got
you
a
know
14.
what's history, Melik? You.
How
what was
about
that?
I
All
use
right.
diplomacy to convince the rope to do a good job?
Why didn't you convince yourself to do a good job? All right, Peter, you panic and throw the rope, totally not near them. Thankfully, Rizwin rolled a 14 and grabbed the rope. Rizwin, do you want to give me another athletics check?
Sure. 12.
All right, Rizwin, you haul yourself and Melik out of the river back onto the side where Peter was, thanks to the rope. That was great, everybody.
I helped.
Great.
Technically, you helped by being a person there with rope.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Rizwin. And thank you,
Jack is
Bash.
just eating popcorn on the other side of the river, like, hey, come on over.
No problem. Why don't we tie a rope to Melik, all of us cross, and then we just pull him across?
I'll just lie on the ground.
Tony, mechanically, would you call this shallow water?
Yeah, I guess so. Do you have some shallow water related skill?
Yep, because the lizard folk among us have swamp walk, so we ignore difficult terrain in mud or shallow water.
Okay.
Does that make it easier for us to get across?
Heck yeah.
Okay. So Kroka just like stares at everyone like, what is wrong with you people? And then starts walking across.
All right, give me an
Go be
athletics
with
check for
Bash.
Croka.
So that is 14.
All right, Croka, you just kind of scamper across. I don't know, depending on the type of lizard you are, maybe you run along the surface of the water.
Can Jack make things any easier for the other people on the left side of the river by taking the rope from Bash and making it maybe like more tight or slightly
Sure.
better hold on? Yeah.
I mean, I feel like now that there's somebody with opposable thumbs on the side of the river, you might as well not delegate that to an alligator.
Can we also just take 20 to go very carefully across the rope?
Sure.
Is that a thing we can do?
Read the rules.
Yeah, I feel like we've embarrassed you all enough. You're all crowded on the other side of the stream.
Great.
So you'll, I guess, you'll leave that rope tied to the stalactite there. But Bash is no longer in charge of a rope. So
Demotion.
Somebody's going to come across it later, and they're going to be like, cool, and they're going to try to use it as a rope swing to get across.
yeah, you guys are really setting up a dangerous situation for
And
somebody
that
else.
person is going to, then they'll belly flop, and they'll slide, and they'll die.
Mhm,
Oh, well.
mhm.
All right, you have reached the most exciting part of Dungeons and Dragons. There is a door that is
Yay!
currently closed.
Yay! All right, so we all take at least 4 or 5 attempts to disarm any traps, and then we're going to investigate the lock. And then once we open it, we're going to open it very slowly. What do
I'm
you
gonna
think?
Okay.
Listen at the door.
All right.
We
I
need
got it. Critical
more
miss.
orc barbarians in our
The
groups.
door sounds like it's made out of door. Fine dwarven
This-
craftsmanship.
This door is door. It's fine. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Door fabric.
Yeah. So Rizwin has listened to the door.
Ogma will
Does
protect us.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Anyone else want to do anything?
Shtek would like to
This-
open the door.
This would be
All
a
right.
weird door to trap. I don't know why they would be trapping this.
Melik says as he reaches for the knob, which eats his hand. So, okay. All right. This team has not seen this. Check out this. I'm going to open the door. Watch this.
Whoa! Wow! Let
Ooh.
Tony open the door.
The people listening
To the
can't
map.
see that I just made the door flip from closed to open. This is the fancy graphics we have here.
Animation.
Magical.
Yeah, it's technically as an animation, it's 2 frames.
That's right.
So the minimum required definition for animation. The room beyond does not appear to be a cavern, but appears to be more of a dungeon construction. Lots of right angles. Nice 10 by 10 squares on the floor. And in particular, this room seems to be crowded with bookcases. Lots and lots of bookcases. And give me a quick perception check, everybody.
Passive perception or regular perception?
Regular perception.
perception.
I like to make people roll things.
Okay.
3.
Melik sees nothing.
I see books.
21.
I'm just dazzled by books.
25.
25. Wow, lizard folk / the people who play these lizard folk are great at perception.
17.
Yeah, high five.
I'm.
All right.
Woo!
Rizwin and Peter, you think you hear something? Maybe sounds like a bird. Shestek and Kroka, you got above 20. You see something small kind of dart across from one bookshelf to the other. I'm just going to reveal a little bit more of the chamber. It's low lit. It is unlit, but I assume that at this point some of you have torches. So you
I
can't.
have low
you
light
can't
vision.
quite. And you have low light vision. So
I'm gonna go look at the books.
Me too.
Yeah. So I'm going to just reveal more. Rizwin, looking around, you can see there is another door on the far eastern side. It also looks like there might be some kind of passageway to the southeast. It looks like a wall has kind of collapsed there. So
Kroka says out loud because she saw something moving. Something is weird in this room, and sends Bash in the direction of these shadows.
Okay. Rizwin, you're looking at the books. There are ancient books here. It looks like they're mainly, you flip through them. Some of them are not in languages that you understand, but just based on context clues, it seems like they're mainly kind of historical tomes talking about wars and battles and geography from places that you have never heard of or seen.
Does it seem like there's any discernible order? Like, is there a Dewey Undermountain order or something?
Things here do not seem very well maintained, and some of the books are sideways, or they've been put in with the spine going in and the pages out, which that doesn't make any sense. And stuff is stacked, and some of the shelves have lots of books crammed into one place, and then other shelves are empty. So yeah, this is I would say the opposite of any kind of any well organized structure.
Okay, so I see nothing related to my clan per se, for example.
Nope.
Okay.
Anything that looks like it's about the history of Undermountain?
Yeah, there does seem to be a book here that seems to be it is labeled A History of Mountain.
Love it. I take it with my mage hand.
Okay, as your mage hand picks up the book and it starts to float toward you, the book squirms and gets out of the mage hand and flaps and flies away.
The library's never going to believe this.
That's what you call a kid that reads a lot, a book squirm.
I heard a squawk earlier, right? Yes?
Yeah, there was, you heard some noises like things moving. And Shestek and Kroka saw something move.
I thought you said I heard something bird-like.
Yeah, like the flapping of wings.
Does it sound a lot like that flapping book?
It sounds exactly like that flapping
I
book.
would like to examine a book and see if this other book I'm looking at appears to really be a book or is some kind of flapping thing.
All right, you pick another book. What's the book title of this book?
It's a loot practice book number 2 for people who are trying to learn loot.
Okay, you look at loot practice book number 2. As far as you can tell, it appears to be a book. It's it's a little old. It's got some water damage. Big copyright disclaimer on the front page.
Shek would like to look at one of the books on this bookshelf where he is.
All right. What's on that? What's the title of that book that you pull off the shelf?
It is Epitaph of the Twilight. It is an epic poem.
So this book is kind of ratty. It looks like it's taken some damage. Maybe something has eaten part of the binding. But it appears to be a book. It does squirm a little in your hands. That seems weird.
And I drop it and kick it across the room.
Hey,
As you kick it, and it kind of jumps into the air and flaps around and finds a home on another shelf.
I look up. Is there like a bunch of flapping books up on the ceiling?
There's a couple books up on top of the bookshelves that are kind of flapping about. Yeah.
Cool.
Kroka has had quite enough of this and is confidently striding towards the exit.
Which way is the exit?
Oh, is there a door here?
There's
Can
a
she
door
see
to
that?
the east. There's a hole in the wall to the southeast.
I'm kind
Okay.
of curious about the hole in the wall, personally.
Oh, they've got great food. You can get a cheesesteak, you can get a sandwich
It's real authentic.
They do delivery, as I recall.
with Swamp Dash.
Mhm.
Mhm.
No, Sewer Dash.
Sewer dash. Yeah, sewer dash.
You're certainly free to go wherever you want. Peter, you're still hanging out in the doorway, afraid of all these books.
Yeah, I don't like flapping books. That looks really creepy.
I'm gonna keep examining the books.
All right, what's the title of the next book you pull off the shelf? I like this game.
This one looks like it's a book on the exploits of Drizzt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as soon as you go to, it's got a bunch of really great illustrations in it. But the book, you're taking a moment to kind of really look over it. This book seems to be in it's in mint condition. It was in like a vellum envelope, and it's got like a little seal of approval on it. But after a little bit of time, the book kind of flaps up above your head and lands on another shelf.
This makes it very difficult to read. Is there any place to like sit down in this library?
This library seems to be free of seating areas, sadly.
Okay.
So Peter is going to walk in and he's going to head over toward this other door to investigate it and see what the deal is. Is there nothing else to the north or the south?
There is not. There's a hole in the wall with, it looks like kind of a cave beyond it to the south where Shostak is.
All right.
But there's nothing to the north.
So I'm going to come over to these doors and inspect them. But before I do that, I get distracted because I see that there's a book on the shelf next to me, and it is like all about everything you ever wanted to know about Bahamut, but were afraid to ask.
It is volume 1 of everything you want to know about Bahamut. And looking at it, it's weird. This area of the library is in slightly more order. It's the first volume of a 10 volume series. Each of them is bound in black leather with like gold embossing. And it looks great, Peter.
And I say, "Hey, everybody! I have these books. My dad has these books at home. This is awesome. This is the best set of books. What's it doing down here? That's really weird."
Strangely, that's the only books in here that aren't interesting because we already have copies of them.
Yeah.
Yes, imagine this deep magical world with haunted books, and you have imagined books that are also available in your dad's den.
Yeah. Well, we're Bahamut worshippers.
On the surface.
The guy came to the door and said, we'll send you a new volume every month for 10 months. And we said yes.
When I was a kid, you had to buy them at the supermarket, and they'd have one a month. So.
Oh, interesting. Well, this is door to door in Waterdeep. So I look inside the front cover to see if there's sort of like one of those little things where they write down who's checked it out.
It says there's kind of a owned by, but there's kind of an incomparable signature. It looks like the first letter is like a heavily stylized H, and then it's a little unclear after that.
Owned by H. This book is owned by H.
Something. H.
All right.
This book brought to you by the letter H.
Well, I put it back on the shelf, and I would like to investigate the door to see what I can see, if this is a safe door, if it has a lock, if all of those
I'm
things.
going to follow Peter.
The book adjusts itself to be perfectly in line with its 9 volume series.
Okay.
So, Shostak, what were you doing over there?
I would like to investigate the books immediately opposite this big hole in the wall. Maybe they staged a coup and flew into the wall at the same time and blew out a hole. I want to look at the books here.
The books do not look like they have. They do not look like they have staged a coup.
Are they all books about prison escapes?
Yeah, well, it's like a mixture of prison escapes and workers' rights and some really great tones on Dungeons and Dragons Marxism. no, there does not seem to be any connection between the books here and the cavern wall that has collapsed to the south. Just looking there briefly, you can see there appears to be just kind of a small alcove off of the corner of the library here. You see some mushrooms, and you hear the sound of kind of some kind of dripping liquid.
Ooh, I collect the mushrooms.
You collect some of the mushrooms. Give me a lizard folk nature check.
Lizard folk nature check. It's the most exciting nature check. It's a 17.
Yeah, you collect. You are well versed in the varieties of mushrooms that might grow in Undermountain. You collect a few. Some of them would be could be converted into poison. Some of them might be important ingredients for some medicinal uses, and some of them are just nutritious and delicious when prepared appropriately.
Bon appetit's best mushrooms.
So. It does look like the cave kind of twists a little bit around the corner into a deeper, darker alcove kind of to the northeast.
Okay. Shek is uncomfortable
Peter.
and goes back to the group.
Okay. Peter, you're
hey guys,
up by
I
the
found
door.
mushrooms.
Yep.
Oh, what kind of mushrooms?
This mushroom, and this ooh, this one has pretty spots on it. That's poison.
Oh, I like that mushroom.
Here you go, and I give it to Croca.
All right.
Thank you.
What do I roll, Tony, to check out this door?
Perception.
That is a 11.
The door does not seem to have any obvious traps. You think you hear footsteps beyond the door.
Hmm.
Who can quietly open a door?
The people that are buried alive on the other side of a rock wall.
We have a friend named Flessa who's excellent at that sort of thing.
Yeah.
She's
Shek, what did
very
you see to the
quiet
south?
and has no sense of personal safety.
I'm sorry, Shek was summoned?
Shek, I was wondering, where did you get those mushrooms?
Oh, from the hole in the wall down there. They have really great food, including these mushrooms.
Not this one though. This one is poison.
I will not eat that then. Is there anything else down there, or just mushrooms?
It went off a little ways. I didn't want to go there without all of you, but I figured this door was more interesting. What do y'all say? Do we want to go to the door or this pathway I found
Well,
to the southeast?
We're trying to get around to the north, right, to see if we can find our friends who are buried in the rock fall. So I feel like going to the south is maybe not the right approach.
Personally,
Although we
I
are
got
leaving the cave system by coming this way.
Do we have a good sense of direction down here?
Oh, Peter always knows what direction to go. That's why he's our leader.
Well, this way has footsteps, and that way no footsteps. So I say that way.
Ooh, I like the no footsteps.
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
Me too.
Let's go.
Follow me.
Let's check out the cave then.
We're
And
actually
then,
looking for somebody down here, though. Maybe we should go where there are people.
I'm following Shtek.
Peter is going to see if he can peek out the door and see who's out there.
Okay. So everybody else, sorry, let me just confirm. Melek, where are you going?
I'm not going first.
But
if everybody
which direction were you going in?
I was just standing in the middle of the room until everybody went in a direction that I was going to follow them. Don't
All
start
right.
with me. I'm not
Fair
going
enough.
anywhere yet.
So, Rizwin, Shestak, Kroka, followed by Bash, go off to explore further into that little cavern to the south. Melek stands in the middle of the library, trying to figure out what to go next. And Peter, having been left unsupervised, decides to open the door that everyone was afraid to open.
Just trying to, just a little crack, just to see if I can see what's going on the other side of the door.
All right. Allow me to animate the door for you.
Not that much.
Well, it's only got 2 frames, Jason. So this is what I got. Peter Dragonforge cracks the door open. Beyond is a long hallway with many doors leading off of it. And face to face with Peter Dragonforge, maybe not face to face, is a very strange sight. It's what appears to be a mechanical scorpion. And the mechanical scorpion is looking at you with its little robot eyes. What horrible fate has Peter Dragonforge unearthed this time? Why do we let him do anything on his own? Will Melek be the first to die? For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time to Dragonforge and Associates. and watch Peter get killed by a scorpion that's a robot.
Oh, God.